this is kind of just shooting into the dark at some extent. I mean, it seems so close on paper. It could really go either way. I think you've got it right once again. This first game is going to give us a lot of information of where things are going to go, and we're underway here. Brand with the first one will try to find the far post, and that was a close call already from Mizzou, but they're able to survive at least the first blast here, but the ball's still in the danger area here as Crims will get it away.
Yeah, that was a very close save there from Whale, but well done for Mizzou to keep it a 0-0 scoreline. And yeah, I think again, both teams, I would say again, it's going to come down to obviously this series, but as we see that Brand can't make the save. That's a good demo into transitional shot there from Whale, make it a 1-0 game. But I was going to say it's going to come down to the speed, whoever wins that sort of battle with the boost and everything like that. But hey, Whale's going to get it done physically. I like that.
Definitely, and for what it's worth, Jamaican Coconut would have been that last man in net, and he gets completely taken out by the Mizzou player coming off the backboard there, using the squishy save to keep his speed and gets the demo off the back of it here. Another good start off the kickoff for Penn State. We'll give them a little bit of possession here. Jamaican Coconut will try to go into the middle here, but Whale will be there first. Brand opting to go all the way back to make sure he can keep possession here, but this might come back to bite him as Crims is there to finish up.
Yeah, beautifully done again. The offense just putting the pressure on, not being afraid to rotate in two players deep early on with that attack, and you just force the defenders to make a bad touch, or you take them off the field like we saw in that first goal. So really well done for Mizzou. Great 2-0 lead to start things out. As Excel's looking for Crims across the way. That's a good save by Jamaican Coconut.
And I gotta.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Oh, sorry about that. I like the idea from Brand trying to recycle possession, bring it back, and keep the ball here for Penn State. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really what you want to do. The execution just wasn't there.
Well, now it'll fall for Brand, looking to get some kind of offense going here for the Penn State side. Haven't really been able to muster too much. Only the one shot up to this point. That's a good 50 at the midfield line by Kareem. Didn't really get anything on it on the back wall, so it's an easy clear for Mizzou, and we're going to go back and forth a little while. Although they did give up 2 goals quite quickly, there is still a lot of time left, and we're going to see if they can start to possess this a little bit more. They have had a couple of good touches, but once they've gotten into the zone flow, it's just kind of fizzle out. There's been no real good midfield passes or any kind of pressure.
Definitely. I think for Penn State, too, the other problem they've been having right now, and you saw Kareem there with kind of a forced touch off of his own front post. They've just leave themselves in such awkward positions here. They're playing high and aggressive in the midfield, and whenever it gets over their head and they're forced back, they leave themselves stranded thin and short, and Kareem did the best of that one. Will get it out. He was trying to do more to get that one into play here in the midfield, but for Penn State, they've got to shore up that defense a little bit and try to find these transitional plays that have been lacking so far. Another shot on target, and this time it's Excels that will find the back of the net.
And this is just a bit of a mix-up. Obviously, Brand coming off the demo, he's going to be the last player back, and there's just nobody home. There was that demo, but even without it, I think nobody was making that save, or it would have been very, very close. Great shot from the high side there, and it's a 1-goal affair for each player on Mizzou now. Each player with 1. Wales looking for his second, and he'll sneak it in short side. A 4-0 game before we are done with the first half here of game 1.
And again, this time it's Jamaican Coconut left last back as his 2 teammates are trying to recover. The first 50 is good enough. The second one just does not go his way. And I think the recurring theme for me here is Penn State just really struggling with the defensive plays here. Time and time again, they've made these mistakes. They've shot themselves in the foot that have left Mizzou with open and clear shooting opportunities that they have done very well to capitalize on.
Again, 4 goals, and not what we expected. This breakout early game from Mizzou, though they are a team who historically can put up a lot of goals in short amount of time, and they've done so here. Let's see if Penn State can battle back in this second half. Yeah, we'll get a little bit of offense. Brand up high with some space. He's over Whale, but Crims is there on the line, able to knock that one down. Jamaican Coconut will try his luck up high. Excel's no touch. Double commit there. Is this going to cost them? We'll find out. Brand looking for Jamaican Coconut. Just can't connect on the pass.
Yeah, the pass was there. The idea was there. Again, the execution just not there for Penn State. They've still got the ball, though. Brand will take it off the ceiling, looks for the pass infield. Jamaican Coconut is there again, but the double commit will buy Mizzou at least a little bit of time, and Excels will get it downfield. The shot from Crims is on target. It forces the same out of Kareem, but not much more than that. Jamaican Coconut off the backboard looking for Kareem. Won't be able to find him. Defers to Brand here as he gets this one downfield. Bran against Crims in the corner. This one will be floating in front of the net. Whale will get there first. And again, that one was almost over the heads of everyone for Penn State. They're forced all the way back into their own corner. Kareem with a 50. Whale still on the ball, on the case. Crims into the midfield. Not the best of touches here. Penn State will get that little bit more time to defend. Great save from Bran. The ball is still here though. Crims off the backboard will not be able to do anything with it, and Jamaican Coconut will finally restore a little bit of order in the Penn State back line.
That is a nice sharp angle shot from Excelst. He's going to look to try to do it again. Instead goes for the pass, but yeah, right now, 4-goal lead with a minute left to go, under a minute left to go here in game number 1. Does look like Penn State not satisfied with their performance here. Definitely probably, going to be talking it out, potentially trying to make a change, but honestly, it felt like things slipped away from them early on. Obviously there's 2 goals from Mizzou helping them, get their legs under them in the early part of the game. But then from there, it was just they would get decent defensive touches. They would get good clears. They just never had in the offense. And then it was a transition goal or a bump or something that would turn into a goal for the other side.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is on each of the 4 goals that have been scored from Mizzou, there's always been some kind of defining touch from Penn State that just hasn't been up to the quality necessary to get it out. We saw Jamaican Coconut take kind of a lackluster 50. There was Kareem who got caught on his front post and left Mizzou with a free pass in field. It's just time and time again, it feels like there's a few very small things that Penn State could do, and this scoreline would not be the 4-0 that we see here. It could have been 1, maybe 2-0, but I think you're definitely right. The offense also wasn't there on the other end, and overall Penn State are going to have to do better to challenge this Mizzou team.
Well, let's take a look at the replay of that first one. And remember, Penn State had the best opportunity early on as well. They almost took a 1-0 lead. And then obviously the 2 back-to-back goals for Mizzou, like I said, kind of opened things up. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think it was just maybe a couple of poor defensive touches that they're going to want to try to clean up here. And maybe there is a little bit of those nerves, right? I mean, they have been playing today, but I think this is their best test up to this point, at least as far as Penn State is concerned.
Definitely, and I think the intent was there, the execution wasn't, right? I think Bran taking the ball back and putting himself in a position where Mizzou were able to get a freebie. Again, I think it's a good idea. He just did not get the touch he needed. There was a 50-50 from Jamaican Coconut. Again, that 50 could have gone a different way. It would have been perfectly fine. It wasn't a bad idea. The first goal was kind of right after the kickoff. There was a bad clear that just left it into the middle for Mizzou. Again, it's not necessarily a bad idea. The touch and the quality of touch that they need was just not there.
Well, here we go. Let's get into game number 2 here on Neo Tokyo. See if Penn State can battle back. And of course, if you are a longtime CRL follower or just Collegiate Rocket League in general, you'll certainly know the history of the Mizzou roster. But interestingly, Penn State, we talked them up as being a bubble team, but maybe they've already proven that they're a bit more than that. With the Division II first place finish in the summer series. And let's not forget they're also world champ contenders from the last CRL season, going qualifying through that LCQ. So definitely a team who can do some damage, though that they didn't really show that in the first game.
Yeah, they definitely, like you said, they made a huge run through that LCQ bracket. They're on the offense here. Brand will take a shot, met by Excelst. Jamaican Coconut was there for the follow-up, but denied. Whale will try to take this one downfield, only as far as Karim, though. The 50-50 is good in the corner, beats 2. Karim won't be able to beat the 3rd here. Jamaican Coconut is up, but Whale gets there first. This one's in the middle, but nothing coming from Mizzou. Coconut off the backboard will be able to take control here and try to buy himself a little bit of time. That's a good demo. It's going to give Penn State a lot of time to get downfield.
Oh, Kareem's is going to turn that around, though, right into Kareem. Here's Bran off the opponent back wall. No touch there. Kareem will beat Excelst. And that's the first of the series for Penn State.
And it's a tough position for Whale to find himself in. He needs to try to challenge on the assumption that Bran's going to make that touch. And when the touch doesn't come in, Karim is the right man in the right place at the right time to put it away. And Penn State, after going down early in the last game, are now in front.
So we'll see how they play with a lead. Jamaican Coconut wants to make it 2. Green will turn. Excelst, it's a decent challenge. It'll fall down to Whale out in front of his own cage, and he will send it clear. 3:37 left to go in game number 2. Touch on to the back wall of the Mizzou roster. Brand wants to keep it in. He does. Whale gets taken out, but Jamaican Coconut's going to have to play this one up high as Crim's just buying some time for his team. Smart play to keep it a 1-0 game. Oh, that almost goes through.
Almost goes through, but not enough for Mizzou as Brand will take this one downfield. The air dribble will get him onto the offense here. Karim is up to challenge Whale, but it will not be enough. Jamaican Coconut in the midfield has some work to do here as his teammates are both recovering still. Will buy a little bit of time, but it'll be enough for Brand to take a half rotation, come across and cut out and sniff out that danger. That's on target. Jamaican Coconut off the post. The follow-up shot is there. Another good save from Brand, and he takes the 50-50 to get it downfield. This might be a breakaway opportunity for Penn State down the other way, but 3 defenders already back for Mizzou.
Yeah, the demo in net, he just picked the wrong target. I think it was Brand who was left alive, able to make the save, and now he'll score the other way, beating Whale one-on-one right out in front of the goal. But got to give credit to Jamaican Coconut for 2 nice 50s in a row there.
Yeah, I was going to do the same. Jamaican Coconut doing the heavy lifting there, sets up the 1v1 for Brand. The defender is just stuck on the goal line. Brand just needs to come up with anything to get it away from the defender, and does. And Penn State down 4-0 in the first one. Like I said, they score first and they extend that lead.
Halftime, 2-0 for Penn State here, trying to equalize the series at 1. Jamaican Coconut gonna rotate in, looking for a pass out in front. Nobody there. He'll stick with it. Wall to wall to the back wall now. Brand skies that one over the cage. Kareem wants to keep it moving. Brand will come through and support right down to Kareem in an open net for a 3-0 Penn State lead.
And again, much better from Penn State. Kareem challenges early, takes Whale out of the play. Brand is there, takes Kareem's out of the play, and the follow-up from Kareem, open net. And even though Jamaican Coconut's not directly involved, I mean, that pass across baits out 2 defenders when he follows himself up off the backboard after that. It's not, no one was at the reception for the pass, but really that's the opening moment that creates the space Penn State needs to find that goal.
Oh, Crims almost sneaks that through. It just stays out. Jamaican Coconut was there. They did get a touch on it. Now Brand across the box. Kareem with the hat trick. It's 4-0.
I mean, what a pinch this was from Brand. Whale scrambling back, Kareem scrambling back. Brand goes for the pinch, and it's just picture perfect. It could not have been done any better. And Penn State now up by 4. And it's just a role reversal in the first game, isn't it?
Well, I mean, both teams have scored 4 goals in 2 games. But both have been, up to this point, shut out in one of them. As Brand's looking to make it 5 now for the Nittany Lions, though it will be Excelst down and around. He's got Crims through the midfield. And I think if you're Mizzou, you're just looking for something to get the energy back up. And there it is. Crims, short side, makes it a 4-1 game. Looking
for something. What, something like that, perhaps?
Hey,
Crims.
Whatever works.
Yeah, over the top, we'll get 1 back. They still got a minute and a half. I mean, it's, a significant amount of time. 30 seconds per goal is certainly something we've seen before here. A good kickoff will certainly go a long way to helping that case. Crims does win the kickoff here, but Brand will beat Excelst in the midfield and turn that into a Penn State victory here. This is floating up dangerously. Jamaican Coconut is up. The shot comes in off the crossbar and scores. Crims almost got there with the squishy save, but not quite enough.
And he had to. I mean, he was getting pressured there by Brand, as you can see. Really well-placed shot from Jamaican Coconut as well. Just sneaks it under the bar. Give him a goal to match his assist here in this game. I believe that was the 3rd assist on the board for Brand as well. So everybody getting involved offensively here for Penn State. That's what we wanted to see. I was a bit concerned, not going to lie, a bit concerned after game number 1, Flo, that Penn State might be... I wouldn't say falling apart, but maybe a bit slow to get going. But they have definitely turned that around here in game number 2. And now I think all bets are off. I have no idea what's going to happen in game 3. They might even get a sick. Brand
the team block
takes that away from Jamaican Coconut, but no harm, no foul, really.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I think, the signs were there that something could have been from Penn State, as Jamaican Coconut will now make it 6. After that first game, they were down by 4, but again, the 4 goals that were scored, there was some kind of Penn State involvement where they could have done better to prevent the goals from going in. You start by not letting in those goals, then who knows what happens. It's a completely open game, and I think we're really seeing that now through game 2, where they've just hammered this Mizzou team. Now for 6, looking for the Brazil is Penn State.
Been a long time since we've had something like that at this level in CRL. We'll see if they'll find it. Nope, Excelsior will shut that down immediately, and it is a 6-2 game 2. And again, it's not the way Mizzou would have wanted game 2 to go, but if you can at least get a little bit of something going offensively to just give you, any kind of straw to grasp at heading into game 3.
Yeah, and that last goal that Mizzou just got is again a carbon copy of something we saw in the first game. I think it was Brand, the pass across field to Jamaican Coconut just did not have the power on it. Jamaican Coconut is caught there. He can't do anything. I think it was Excels gets there first, and he just gets a free shot on net. So, Penn State's still not immune from defensive frailties here, as we can see, but they're certainly looking a lot better on the defensive end than they did in game 1.
Looking a lot better defensively. Oh, Whale off the crossbar. That was a nice little play there from Mizzou. But, as good defensively as Penn State has been in this game, their offense is where they were lacking in game 1. Almost a beautiful goal the other way this time. And finally, it'll hit the ground. It will be a Penn State victory. We will go 1-1 into game number 3. But we're going to take a look at the stats before we do so. And the shot totals. Very high shooting on both sides in this game.
Yeah, and to go back to what you said, where the offensive was lacking in game 1 for Penn State, I don't want to look too deeply into that, actually, right? When you're so struggling on the defensive end and there's just so many kickoffs left and right and you never have time to get yourself an open play and really show what you do, it can be really misleading in terms of, bringing something to the table on offense. And, Mizzou was certainly well there to capitalize on a lot of the kickoffs, but now that Penn State has sorted out the defense and the opportunities weren't coming from Mizzou, they just have so much more time, more space, more boost to work with on the other side of the field because they're not panic rushing back every 10 seconds to try and defend.
Sure. No, absolutely. So we'll see now. The ball is firmly in the Mizzou court to respond in game number 3. And I have a feeling that we're going to see the offenses slowed down a little bit here. I think maybe a bit too giddy for both teams to start this series. But, again, an 8-goal game is not something that's unexpected from these teams offensively, but we don't expect to see the blowouts on either side, right? I mean, at least I didn't coming into this series.
Yeah, not necessarily. Again, I think it's just a function of mistakes being made on both sides of the field. Game 1, it was Penn State, and this particular time, Mizzou was certainly making their fair share of mistakes. And if you're good at capitalizing on mistakes, then you start running up the scoreboard. So we'll have to see where this goes. Hunted expecting a war of attrition in game 3 here as we're now underway. Penn State will take the first possession. Whale will deny, though. Up off the backboard is Whale looking for the double. Only finds the corner of the post here as Crims follows up with a shot. Brand is there. Puts it in front of his own net, though. Again, a dangerous play, and Crims will deny Excelst.
He was just trying to rotate out, get out of the way of that. Unfortunately, found himself right in the middle of the action, did Crims. Now he's off the pitch for a couple of seconds. Kareem looking for another demo backside. Well, that's going to be a bit of a giveaway. Brand gets there. Here comes Kareem trying to beat Crims out to it. Instead, he'll back pass it to Jamaican Coconut. That's over the head of the first defender. Now Whale will try. He can't make the play. Excelsior does get a touch. It bounces out. Then Excelsior will get there for the second one. As that was a quick start for Penn State, but no score. We stay 0-0.
Yeah, the pass was infield. Kareem was there, unfortunately let down by his decision to go all the way back for boost. Just does not have the pace to get there in time and beat the defender. Mizzou able to get themselves out of a pickle. They will eat a demo for their troubles, though, as Crims removed from the field once again here. As Excelsior will take a 50. Brand will be on the ball here. Crims, a spawning Crims, just flies across the field to deny, but Kareem's still here. Tries to find the flip reset to buy his team that little bit of time to reset and get some gas in the tank here. Pass in field for Mizzou won't avail to anything. No one at the reception. They will still have the ball in the midfield through Crims.
And it looks like maybe a couple of touches, a little bit of panic touches from either side as Whale almost tries to drop that one down. Just less ball control and more just banging it out of the zone as soon as you get the opportunity. Brand's gonna respawn in a pretty good position, but he ends up getting taken out right again there, and instead the ball will bounce all the way out. So the physical plays have come out again for Mizzou. We saw that in game 1, although Brand does get a little bit of space there, but they just haven't been able to capitalize. I think they've been sort of on the back foot, just looking for space and looking for boost mainly.
Definitely, but I think the physical plays have certainly blunted the tip of the spear of the Penn State offense here. We haven't seen the kinds of shots, passes, and goals coming in from Penn State here. I mean, it's 2 minutes 30 gone, and they still have yet to post a shot on the board here. Jamaican Coconut won't make contact. Defers, leaves Excelts on the ball here. Excelts in the corner will try to beat Brand, not able to, as Crims will take control once again. Gets bumped for his troubles here, as Jamaican Coconut might have a breakaway downfield here. Jamaican Coconut on the ball, tries to beat the first defender and won't be able to, as Kareem will just punt it back off the backboard. Shot opportunity, the shot comes in and the save is good.
That was the first official shot for Penn State in this game. They're looking for another one here that has the pace, and it will find the top corner. I think it got deflected potentially off of one of the defenders, but either way, it finds its way in. No, that was just a straight shot, 1-0.
Yeah, floater to the top corner. I think Karim once again finds himself in the right place at the right time. It's something that happened in the first game where he just got a goal from being in the right place at the right time as the ball just dropped into him, said thank you very much, and was on his way.
Here we are, past the half, only a one-score game up to this point. Definitely different than the first two of the series. See if Mizzou, can get something back on the board. Excels has to make a save from the long ranger there from a Jamaican Coconut. Here's Brand off the ceiling, had Kareem down low. Wanted to try to go far post there. I think he would have missed regardless. But still, a Penn State keeping the pressure on this Mizzou defense.
Yeah, and Karim has done a good job of denying boost on the far side of the field. It leaves him a little bit out of position, unfortunately, for the pass from Brand, but either way, it just forces the Mizzou into such a weird spot. They're trying to push, they're trying to commit, but they just have nothing to work with in the tank here. The double commit's certainly not going to help that cause here. Karim beats both players here and able to take possession. He's got no boost to work with. We'll try to get a block. Nothing comes of it, unfortunately. The ball is lingering in front of this Mizzou team's net and in their half. They just cannot find space, as Jamaican Coconut once again will take a 50 to keep this one in check. Crims will finally get it out, but only temporarily, as it falls straight into the hands of Bran and Karim.
And every time it seems that Mizzou is looking for a breakout, as Karim's going to take a shot from midfield that's just a bit high. It seems like there's always a blue car in the zone, whether it's a pass, whether it's a clear. It has just been a relentless forecheck here from Penn State that keeps this game at 1-0, but that's just it. It's only 1-0, and right now here comes Mizzou looking to tie things up. That one does get deflected wide by Karim. Good play there. Brand going to try to buy some time for his teammates. Oh, a team bump there from Mizzou. Well, we'll cut over to help out, and with 25 seconds left to go, that's not a great touch. Jamaican Coconut's going to make them pay, and it's 2-0.
2-0. And for Mizzou, I mean, I think the demos have certainly worked. They've curbed the bleeding on the defensive end. They're down by 2 rather than conceding the 6 they did last game, but the offense is still just not firing for Mizzou. They just cannot find a way past this Penn State defense here, and you know, with 25 seconds left, Penn State finding a second goal. We're looking for a good kickoff here from Mizzou. We won't get it, so I guess in my book, I think this is all she wrote for Game 3.
Especially if we're going to be playing out of the Mizzou end right now. Only 10 seconds left. They've got to get something on the board with time remaining. Excels might be the only hope they have. Flip reset. Jamaican Coconut's there to knock it down, and that will certainly do it for game number 3 now. It is a 2-1 series lead for Penn State. They are on match point to have a date with Northwood in the upper bracket finals. And
already, what a turnaround from Penn State. I mean, conceding 4 in that first game, you'd think maybe their mental game is just not going to be on point coming into game 2. They come back, they're firing on all cylinders, go 6-2 and now 2-0. Great comeback already for Penn State, and they've got themselves, like you said, on match point first. And again, I think for Mizzou, the story of this game is just the lackluster offense. They just cannot find the back of the net.
Well, and I mean, you combine that with the last game as well. I mean, in both games, they've scored a combined 2 goals, and that's certainly not going to do it against a Penn State offense like this one. But, you know, interestingly enough, and we kind of made mention of it briefly there through the game, Penn State didn't have their first shot until well after the half, it felt like. And they had possession of the ball for a majority of that. It felt like we were heavily in the Mizzou zone. They just never got a good shooting opportunity.
Yeah, I think I alluded to this a little bit during the last 2 minutes of the game there, but I think, you know, the demos for Mizzou are certainly effective in curbing the Penn State offense. Unfortunately, it really hinders their ability to then transition, go forward onto the offense and try to find something. I mean, you know, when you take that demo, unless it's something in rotation on your way back, you're by default committing someone to a demolition rather than committing someone to receiving a pass or, trying to be in a productive position upfield. So yeah, it's going to help shore up the defense. But on the flip side, the way they're using demos right now, it just means they're pushing with one, sometimes two players. When you've got a full roster of 3 men for Penn State back on defense and one spawning back, it's going to be a tough break to find a way through and find the back of the net.
Well, here we go. Game 4, Penn State with a chance to knock Mizzou down into the lower bracket, and this is going to be an open net goal. Jamaican Coconut will be the player to send it through 1-0 for Penn State to open Game 4.
Yeah, it's just the pinball in the midfield here. Jamaican Coconut tries to take the 50 on Crims, I think it was, who's looking for his shot. Crims just does not make contact, and Coconut gets it his way. Exhaust is just unlucky to be in the wrong place. It just ricochets off him right back in the midfield. And Jamaican Coconut on his way to opening the score here. Brand with a shot on target for the second. Exhaust will find the save.
A little bit of a double commit there from Penn State. You saw Brand call off his teammate as he had the better angle. Ultimately, that will lead to a clear all the way back down. Excels towards the cage. Oh, Crims is there, but he was up in the air trying to read that one off the back wall. Instead, it's going to be Jamaican Coconut. Now Kareem and Brand all combining for a bit of a clear, though it does get shut down at the midfield line. Here's Whale with some space, looking for the double touch. Not quite going to find it. We've seen that a couple times. Some solo plays that I don't think should be solo plays, especially when you have teammates lurking through the midfield ready for these passes.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but again, the story is the same for Mizzou. They just can't find a way to capitalize. They've gotten themselves in a favorable position at least twice this game, and they just cannot find a way to score. And I think you've got it right. They're getting themselves in positions off the back of one-off plays like this one, and where sometimes it falls back into the zone, Penn State is always there first to deny.
Well, if you're just joining us, folks, it is certainly a wonderful series between these two teams. It's opened up with Mizzou 4-0, really thrashing in Game 1 over Penn State. And from there, Penn State has not looked back. 6-2 in Game 2. 2-0 win in Game 3. Now they've got a 1-0 lead here in Game 4, looking to make it into that upper bracket final. And Brand, that's a wonderful pass. Jamaican Coconut with a good shot, but Wales there on the line to save.
Well, they're on the line, but it did also force 2 commitments out of Mizzou here. They're going to be left thin for that little bit longer. Excels with another save. Brand off the ceiling. We'll see what he can do here. Looking for the far post. Gets the bump. No follow-up available from Penn State. They know they don't need to commit someone to that play, as Jamaican Coconut will deny. Whale gets this one back in the middle. Crims sitting on his goal line. Doesn't have much to work with here. He's got to do something. That's such a good play from Crims and such a vital clear from Mizzou at a key point in this game.
Now we'll see if they can turn it into some offense as we pass the halfway point. The Excels can't really handle it at the midfield line. They'll get another chance now. Brand, last player back, opts to stop and turn. They'll buy his team a little bit of time. Kareem next on the ball. He'll grab that midfield boost and play it in. So back to the drawing board goes Mizzou. That's a dangerous pass out in front. Excels has to make a play here. Jamaican Coconut will follow. Yeah. Oh, just off the post. Rebound sits out in front. That one's off the post and in, and it's 2-0.
And the bump is just so good here. Brand takes out the keeper, and it leaves Whale scrambling. He thinks that one's going in. It's unfortunately for him off the back of the post. Jamaican Coconut in the middle will force it through with a little bit of help from Kareem, who gets credit for the goal. And Penn State just causing mayhem in front of the Mizzou defense will eventually find the back of the net here. Mizzou will put this one downfield. They were looking for Whale upfield. Won't be able to find it. He's rotating through on a demo. This might be open for Jamaican Coconut, but he can't find the back of the net.
And Crims was there in a pretty decent spot. I think he had started his flip before that pass came out. They just couldn't quite correct it in order to get a shot. Now it's leading to some more Penn State offense. As Crims goes off the ceiling, this will be dangerous out in front. Brand looking for Jamaican Coconut. Whale's there. Kareem's going to rotate forward. Up high, Jamaican Coconut will leave it, and Kareem just couldn't quite sneak it under the bar.
And that was the best opportunity that Mizzou had. They were in a 3v1 against Brand, and they just couldn't decide who was going to be on the ball between Crims and Excels. And at the end of the day, neither end up going. Brand gets a free challenge, put Penn State back on the offense. That was a good opportunity to drop it to Kareem there. Won't make contact, and Whale will put it downfield. But Penn State have still got the lion's share of the possession. Possibly fitting for the Nittany Lions, actually. This one's going to be off the backboard here. Crims will make a save, but Jamaican Coconut and Bran are there to recycle once again.
And again, Penn State showing why they were a team to fear in the LCQ. Oh my, Jamaican Coconut just missed that one. That was an open net goal. That certainly would have ended the series. They're still going to put some pressure on here. Final 40 seconds left, but Mizzou with a little bit of life after that miss. Here comes Excelst. He'll have Crimson support demo on the line, but Bran is there, able to knock that one aside.
Yeah, and there's almost an argument to be made that missing that shot for Jamaican Coconut might have been better off. I mean, it burns off so much time off the clock. You know, if they score, then yeah, they need to score 3 times at the same time. Oh, I mean, Penn State are just fully into game management mode at this point. You can see Bran just trying to kill off the clock here. 15 seconds left. It looks like it's going to be Penn State and North.
That it does, but let's not count him out yet. Great play from Bran. Kicks it into the corner. 3 seconds left. Not enough time for Mizzou. They will fall in 4 games after a great opening, a 4-0 win for them. They scored 2 goals in the next 3 games and get outscored by their opponents 10-2 flow, and ultimately drop down into lower bracket.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about it after the first game. The signs were there of a Penn State team that just misfired.